Hey all, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 3. Today we're taking a trip to the beautiful and sunny kingdom of Corona, otherwise known as Tangled Land. Did you ever watch Tangled, Helldragon?
I haven't watched Tangled. I have gotten like a summary of it. This world is kind of like my main exposure to Tangled. Obviously, it's missing a lot of things, but that plus my plot summary basically means I'm an expert. Also, I'm just going to throw it out there. Pretty sure the organization did not show up in the movie. I don't know if I'm correct. Just saying.
Well, yeah, if you watch the Blu-ray version, I think you'll find there's a stinger at the end where Marluxia comes down and says, "Tangled, Princess Tangled, we want you to join the organization." No, this is Rapunzel, of course, based on the story of the same name. I'm just going to read you the first paragraph of the plot synopsis on Wikipedia. Long ago, a drop of sunlight fell onto Earth and grew a magical flower capable of healing illness, decay, and injury. For hundreds of years, the flower is used by Mother Gothel to retain her youth until soldiers from a nearby kingdom, Corona, find the flower and utilize it to heal their ailing queen. Shortly afterwards, the queen gives birth to Princess Rapunzel. While attempting to recover the flower, Gothel discovers Rapunzel's golden hair contains the flower's healing properties, and that cutting her hair destroys its power. Gothel abducts the baby and raises Rapunzel as her own daughter in an isolated tower. Once a year, the King and Queen release sky lanterns on Rapunzel's birthday, hoping for their daughter to see them and return. And that brings us to current day Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, when Sora and two cartoon animals come into the picture to completely stand out from all the rest.
Alright, let's just put this out there right now. This is one of like the straight adaptation worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3. But unlike, say, Arendelle, Frozen Land, this one, while it does have a plot hole or two, skirts by for me on its charm and the fact that I just like Tangled more. I'm very biased in that regard. But it is the most hilarious shit when they reenact parts of the movie verbatim. And then there's just Donald Duck standing in the background.
I know, right? I didn't mind this world that much. I actually kind of liked it. There are some great sections where you're pretty much just exploring the forest with Rapunzel and just kind of hanging out, pretty much. And then I missed that other thing I was going to say. Meanwhile, here is a jackass. I think it's me. Just running for his life.
You wish you were Zachary Levi, mate.
I know this is Flynn Rider. I know that's a stand-in for another name that he actually has, and I'll be fair, if I was saddled with a stupid name, I'd change it too.
His real name is Eugene Fitzherbert. Yeah, they kind of skip over the reveal scene, among other scenes, so we'll just tell you that now. It's not really a spoiler in the grand scheme of things. Now, I have no idea whether this is true or not, or whether it's just an urban myth, but I've heard it on various places like Reddit and TV tropes, so it's got to be true. Apparently, Zachary Levi took the role as Flynn in Tangled, so he could reprise his role if it ever actually came to Kingdom Hearts. So there you go, guys. Follow your dreams. They may one day come true.
Wow, really? That is interesting. You know, I besides this, apparently, I don't know if he's the same actor in the series, but apparently there is a Tangled cartoon series, which apparently is not bad. I have actually heard. Yeah, I've heard some good things about it, which. I mean, no complaints. Please make good media. It's just kind of weird to get that from Tangled, of all things, you know?
Why? Did you not think the story of Rapunzel would have enough, like, lore and whatnot to beget a TV series?
Well, not necessarily. I'm just saying that you have to remember that time when Disney was making animated properties out of all their movies. And some of them not as good as the others, although I can't think of ones I really are like super bad off the top of my head, but nobody's sitting there going, wow, I want a DVD release of the Little Mermaid series, thanks.
Hey, that was... It was decent, but it's no Aladdin or Hercules. Anyway, welcome to the beautiful kingdom of Corona, and welcome to our lovely new keyblade that we got from Toy Box. This is my favourite deputy, or something along those lines. It turns into a fucking hyper hammer.
No, it's pretty good, and then as you're using it more and more, it will turn into a drill weapon. I used this one for quite a good while. It does good damage. The big problem with Hyper Hammer, of course, is that it is slower, and you know, if you are caught in a bad situation where you're in the middle of a swing, you can't really cancel out of that to try and dodge, so you do have to be careful. The drill, you get a little bit more speed, but I don't like it as much as the hammer.
Fair dues, mate, fair dues. It does actually have a claw finisher, and I'm not talking about the Asper organization from fucking Mob Psycho. No, I'm talking about the claw. Ooh! And just to answer your question earlier, Helldragon, yes, Zachary Levi does voice himself in Tangled the series, as does Mandy Moore, who surprisingly was the only Tangled character not to reprise their role in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Why? I mean, Mandy Moore's been in the game series before. I don't understand.
Well, she was Aerith in Kingdom Hearts 1, then she was replaced by Mina Savari in Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't know. Maybe she was busy recording the TV series. I couldn't tell you. I'm not her agent. But she was voiced in KH3 by Kelsey Lansdowne, who, to my knowledge, only has 3 voicing credits. The other 2 besides this being Barbara Gordon in Batman Arkham Origins and Kid in Curious George.
Ah, yes, Kid. My favorite of the kids. That one. I don't think she did a bad job. I mean, obviously I've never seen the movie. I don't know about Mandy Moore's performance. I didn't think it was bad. I mean, look, I didn't know anything about Mina Suvari either, but I could tell you right off the cuff that she didn't... That's the most convincing robot I've heard in a long time.
Whew.
But...
yeah, less said about that, the better. Yeah, Kelsey does a pretty good job, to the point where I was actually fooled into thinking it was Mandy Moore in, like, certain bits and pieces. But there's, like, a few line reads here and there where it's like, oh yeah, that's obviously not Mandy Moore. But for the most part, it's like a 8.5 out of 10 sort of job. And, yeah, we got a little bit of treasure from a cave here. What shall it be, he says, already knowing.
Whoa, it's a game nobody's gonna play. Cool.
Can you imagine if you went into a cave and you saw, like, a locked chest or something, you opened it up and it's fucking Mario Land? Just a cartridge for Mario Land.
You know, if we were going around collecting Game Boy Classic games, I would not mind that at all. That would actually be pretty awesome.
Weird. There's like a door-shaped shadow in the middle of these vines.
So, with this world, this actually made me turn on the orientation where you would always kind of, your arrow wouldn't like turn around based on your direction on the map, it would always face forward, because I got fucking lost near the end of this world, trying to find these fucking vines, because I had to go back to the tower, and I'm like, where the hell is it? I cannot find it.
You're like, wow, no wonder nobody found the fucking princess for 18 years. She's gone. She may as well be in the D-dimension at this point.
Yeah, I said that to myself. I'm like, well, it works. I mean, if I can't find it, you know.
Why do people even lock their doors? Just put some vines in front of your house. No one's ever going to find you.
Basically invisible at that point, yeah.
I think this was one of the very first worlds, and this shot in particular was one of the very first shots we saw of Kingdom Hearts 3, besides, you know, the initial pre-viz footage, I guess, of Sora running through Twilight Town to escape the Demon Tide or whatever.
Now, obviously, we are reenacting the movie. I am not sure how much influence they may have had. You know, Disney or whoever made the movie or things like that, the people involved, in terms of dictating what can happen. Because you'll notice, again, based on the organization's interactions with the characters in this world, Marluxia's the main person. Makes sense. He is mostly to the side. He does talk with Mother,
Gothel.
Gothel, okay. He does speak with Mother Gothel. That is pretty much it. Compared it to Larxene, who does not interact with the characters at all. So again, I'm not really sure how far it goes in this case.
Now, I have praised the cutscene direction in Kingdom Hearts 3 as being, if not the best in the series, some of the best. Some of these scenes really needed music, but at the same time, they're still more lively than the ones in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, I mean, here you can see how they really bothered to, again, mimic the choreography, mimic how their faces react and things like that. Because, again, this is me coming off of somebody who's, you know, I've never seen the movie. And at some points when they are obviously reenacting certain scenes, it looks really good for the system. Like, there's that one scene later on with the lanterns. It's just like, holy shit, that looks great, you know?
This is Pascal. He is a chameleon. That's about all you really need to know.
Well, I guess everybody needs a cute animal companion. Give him some props for using a chameleon. I have no idea why it's called Pascal. Personally, I'm a Ruby and PHP fan. That was a terrible joke, and I really apologize.
Well, it didn't land with me, so no embarrassment in this regard. Do you mind? My face is being smushed right now.
Yeah, this is my favorite face. You only get one. You gotta make use of it.
Well, tomorrow evening, they will light the night sky.
She's so close to Mandy Moore, it's actually kind of uncanny, but I guess, like, she had a whole film to base her voice take off. I wonder how she even got picked for the role in the first place, because she is relatively unknown.
Well, I'm guessing in this case, because obviously what they were trying to do is they were trying to mimic the original actors. Like, you'll know when we get to the Monsters, Inc. world. You get some people who I was like, who the hell is that? But, you know, they obviously do their part to mimic John Goodman, Bill Murray, things like that. So that would make sense how she got the role, considering how close. I mean, you're saying that at some points you cannot tell it's her, like it's indistinguishable from Mandy Moore. So I think that's good enough, in my opinion.
Hang on, did you say Bill Murray back there? I think you mean Billy Crystal, though.
Billy Crystal, I'm sorry, I mixed it up, yeah.
That would be a very different Monsters Inc. kind of movie.
Let me get this straight.
I want to see a Monsters Inc. and Ghostbusters crossover, only because I think with some doing, you can make that work.
I promise.
Oh, please don't have a Ghost Harold Ramis come out.
Well, don't do that, but I think from a comedic standpoint it would work out. I mean, fuck, Ghostbusters crossed over with fucking Transformers and G.I. Joe, may as well.
Oh, what to do?
I don't know if this was in the movie, this like aside and inward voice, but yeah, the tiara is kind of a pivotal plot thing which induces some plot holes in the adaptation of Tangled story, but we're not at that part yet, so I don't need to panically explain anything.
I think he just needs an inner monologue so we can kind of piece it together, because obviously we are lacking the rest of the movie to put scenes together, you know?
Now, since this is like a CGI movie in its origin, sometimes it can be a little bit uncanny when they're trying to recreate every like muscle twitch and whatever. For the most part, they do a good job. There's a few awkward scenes, but there's something we haven't brought up yet is very little to no default face at all. Like, that is the closest right there to default face in the entire game.
Let's check it out.
There's a few instances where you get a default face, but this is like, again, it's more of a distant take. It's not like up close, because you'll notice even when we were doing Hercules World, they really tried to avoid doing a default face kind of thing. Like, you know, Hades' default face, it was kind of that half-lidded, kind of flapping-jawed expression. He had way less of that when we met him in this game, so they have done a great job to make sure it's avoiding that.
Did you do any of these photography missions, mate?
I'll be honest with you, every time I checked, it's like, hey, can you go back to the world you were just at and get these? I'm like, no, I can't, but thanks.
Yeah, maybe they could, like, give you, like, a heads up and say, oh, new photography missions now available in the Moogle shop. I'm not entirely sure if they do that, but, whatever. I'll just buy some veal from the Moogo, and, why do I keep calling them Moogo? I'm combining Moogle and Kupo, and it's giving me a serious tick right now. By the way, this was my second take of running through the Kingdom of Corona, because you know what happened when I did it the first time?
What happened?
The video was fine. There was no audio whatsoever.
Oh, I see. I guess we would have had to made all the voice effects as well, and...
Like, I would go in after the fact, and I'd be playing Flynn and Rapunzel, you'd be like Sora, Dawn, and Goofy, and then I'd just put sound effects in like swirl, 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 hammer, 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 bang, bang.
Man, that's just too dreadful to think about, I think.
Alright, so how do you feel about the flower harvest that we encounter in this world, mate?
They're not too bad. I didn't really run into any Heartless I found were annoying. I would imagine it gets more when we get to the Dark Forest. I don't know if that place has an official name. But that one had a few more annoying Heartless in it, I think.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about people calling you out for saying you don't know how to use Splash Run worth a jot?
I don't care. It's just...
Damn it, my attempt at drama incitement has failed.
I mean, it's possible I'm doing something wrong. I had to rush through the game because I was interested in doing it for the, playthrough for that. As I was going, I was trying to adopt and kind of learn the best way to play this game. But I've only really done one pass. That kind of thing works best in multiple playthroughs. Like, I'll compare. DMC5. First run through that, I was shit. I was just smoking shit style all over the place. But as I'm going back to it again, I now know the attacks. I have more abilities. It's easier. I know what to expect this time, so...
That's fair news. I still think it's a little bit unfair you comparing an action RPG to an action game, but that's a story for another Twitter, dispute.
I really don't want to fall from tall heights, thanks.
Man, they worked so hard to get Rapunzel's hair looking right for Kingdom Hearts 3, and kudos to them, it looks movie-worthy.
I have to admit, when I was going into this world, I was interested how they were going to do this, because of the fact that obviously her hair is so very long. It would be kind of weird to have that kind of go all over the place. The solution they went for, I think, works out, considering the fact that she has to be present in battles, of all things.
Here we go. The I'm free scenes, and yeah, Flynn, where the fuck did you bop off to?
I don't know why she's so excited. It's just the sun, man. I would avoid that if I could.
Dude, this is the story of a shut-in with pretty hair. This is essentially my biography, right?
I'm fixing to say, I'm a shut-in with pretty hair as well.
No, you go out to work, Mr. Man.
That's true. I do have to go to a job.
Ever?
Right, here we go. Here is basically the movie scenes with Goofy and Donald in the background.
I can't believe I did this!
And on the other side,
I did this.
there you go. It's a little bit bipolar.
I did this!
I actually like this bit a lot, where she starts like freaking out and they start going back and forth here. I actually really like this touch.
Tyrannosaurus was standing in the background.
It's like when I took that picture from the Lion King trailer and I put Sora, Donald, and Goofy in there on Twitter. This is what's happening.
Oh my god, I can't believe Detective Pikachu has better CGI animals than the fucking Lion King made by Disney. Look at Goofy there! And Donald Duck is there.
Nirvana will not be reached.
Best day ever!
Literally almost one-to-one with the movie. Oh, she doesn't know how to react. It's like, it's kind of overwhelming, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the first time she's gone outside, and she doesn't even know the rest of the story with Mother Gothel.
Can you imagine if there was just like a book? Because she loves to read books, by the way. There's a whole thing, like at the start of the film, with a song called When Will My Life Begin, where she, rattles off her daily itinerary, and she reads books over and over and over.
Oh, well, I mean, can certainly understand that if you're stuck inside all the time.
Anyway, to finish the joke, imagine if there was just like the plot synopsis of Tangled right there. Joke over. 0 out of 10.
Well, that was convenient.
Sora, Donald, and Goofy.
Drink.
It's nice to meet you too. I'm Rapunzel.
Yep, my sidekicks.
Man, I need sidekicks or goons.
Since when is that?
What? Hide goons? Jesus.
He really wants
Goons,
to see the
scabs,
Lion King show
rapscallions, anything like
Now,
that.
I'm a
Just
nice guy, so
people
I've decided to
to
help
do my job for
Only
me.
problem
I've
is
noticed
the
they've
monsters
paid
won't
more
show up again.
close attention to like
I can
Goofy
give her
being a
food.
dog in this game. Like you look at him in some scenes and his ear will be perked up listening and whatnot.
They don't really do that a lot, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we're heartless experts.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he said.
Zachary is just loving this shit.
It is pretty neat that, he wanted to take it just so he can get into Kingdom Hearts. That is admittedly pretty wholesome.
Oh, again, I don't know whether that's true or not, but it's so wholesome, I'm going to accept it into my heart. And even though this is a straight adaptation of Tangled for the most part, there are a few glaring omissions here and there. Like, the cast of characters gets, like, so involved with Sora, Donald, and Goofy, it just elevates it a bit more, and again puts it in direct opposition to the Frozen adaptation, which, I have things to say about that later, don't you worry.
Trust me, we all do. And I say this as somebody who hasn't even seen the film. I just noticed particular presentation problems, but that's me.
Yep. Unforgettable. Just like your face.
Oh, got him!
Oh, Sora, you cheeky rapscallion. Don't step on Rapunzel's hair, she'll be right back in that tower before you know it.
It is fun to completely shit on Donald's Day. It's great.
Yeah, I just like the camaraderie that they've got back in the game and whatnot. It's a nice change of pace. Yeah, we did go to the, what was it? The Musketeers world. There we go, in Dream Drop distance. That was okay. That was an okay world.
I do like how they'll go... Shut up, I'm talking. They'll go to... Like, they'll have their little cutscene, and then it just seamlessly transitions back into gameplay. It's a nice little touch. A bit jarring at times, but I do like it for the most part.
Like, it's not every time, but every time it happens, I'm fucking marking out. It's like, oh, this is the power of the PlayStation 4!
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I got this. I don't even have a PS4 Pro, and this is the kind of experience I'm getting.
A little bit clunky to get up to the top of the tower, which kind of feeds into a later boss fight, not to give anything away, but it's still pretty hype all the same.
It's like
Just want to get Hidden Mickey. What of it?
I like how she's like, it's like the world goes on forever. Yeah, again, the power of the PS4.
Ah, yeah, see, if you play the PS4 Pro, you can see the new picture of the black hole that got revealed recently.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That would be an interesting world to go to.
Let's just date the video, why not?
Well, don't worry, our commentary is dated anyway, so...
It is a little bit clunky in parts. You know, we pronounce things incorrectly, we get facts wrong. At the end of the day, we're just slobs, really.
We do what we can.
Look, the flowers are growing on top of the water.
I will say, it is really funny. There's a load of like interactable moments with Rapunzel in this world. We'll see a few of them over the next couple of parts. But they were moments in the film where like Rapunzel was having those moments with Flynn. So essentially, the Kingdom Hearts 3 adaptation of Tangled is the story of Sora cooking Flynn out of romantic moments with Rapunzel. And by the way, you can find these wanted posters of Flynn Rider around the place where they keep getting his nose wrong every time. It's huge.
That looks safe.
Why don't we touch it? That seems like the best thing to do.
What is
Yeah,
that?
I don't know.
Wait for it. It's coming.
I wonder if there's a monster underneath all that. Oh, look. It's a bunch of dandelions. And it turns out they're all monsters, and there's probably a bigger monster underneath all that. What do you know?
Oh, Jesus. I think there is actually a photography mission where you have to take out, like, the fluff on the dandelion boss and then take a picture of it. Just letting you know ahead of time, because it was a little bit clunky trying to get a picture of it. Careful, Flynn. You're like 21. She's... Well, I guess she would be 18 according to the story, so it's A-okay.
Hey, it's fine. I mean, it's Fantasy Kingdom Land. The ages of consent are a little bit different, so...
At least it's not like Ariel, who was like 16 or whatnot.
Oh, come on!
I love Flynn.
Rapunzel?
It's okay.
It's nice to have like a straight man in well, he's a straight man and a fool because like he's wacky, but at the same time he can be serious when the need calls for it.
Yeah, but his general character, I do like him a lot, actually, in this game, so no doubt he's just as entertaining in the film. You have to understand, like, this is the first time she came outside, and meanwhile she meets Sora, who busts out magic casually.
Yeah.
And he also had the ability where he just jumped into a fucking movable turret. I mean, if this is her first experience with real life, it's gonna skew her perspective like crazy.
Yeah, she's gonna wonder why not everyone, like, has a talking duck companion. Where's the fairground rides that pop out of nowhere? Why can't I heal myself without my hair? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, hell, Mother Gothel should just learn Kiraga. There.
Well, I don't know, I think it's all part of the manipulation factor. You know, you keep the healing power to yourself under the pretense of being a good mother. That's the general conceit of Mother Gothel.
Remember, we have to protect the world order, so let's use Blaster Blaze casually.
Well, as long as you don't say you're from Destiny Islands, I think you're all fine.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to do. You just can't say you're from another place. I'm from up north.
Yes. Out of town, if you will. You know, it's funny. Tangled and Frozen are actually in the same continuity, because if you watch carefully, when Elsa is getting crowned in Frozen, Rapunzel and Eugene are actually there for the coronation.
Really? Are you sure it's that and not just necessarily like an Easter egg?
It could be an Easter egg, but I guess they're cousins as well.
Shit, you think we would have heard about the cousin who has the ability to fucking use ice and shit.
Yeah, that's true, but don't forget, that came at like a really pivotal moment which caused Elsa to abdicate and whatnot. Alright, so who do we have here as Mother Gothel? Let's see. I'm gonna have to do some... here we go. Donna Murphy, reprising her role from the film, as excellent as ever.
That's pretty good. Oh, it's one of those items from Resident Evil.
Now, I want you to pay close attention here. The tiara in the satchel is here. Is here. Third and final time, is here, okay? Good. It's locked inside your brain now, it can't get out.
Wow, his nose is terrible.
What a schnoz.
Someone? Who's there?
Oh boy.
Oh, I think you know who I am by now.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's the same dude who played him in Chain of Memories. He sounds a little bit different, maybe because, I don't know, different direction, but same old Marksy. He's already been noted thanks to his golden nose. I guess she's part Xehanort as well now.